Well, strap in, folks. Just when you thought the well of originality in Hollywood had run as dry as a date on F-Boy Island, they're pulling out the old Superman franchise for another whirl. Yes, you heard that right. They're dusting off the cape and spit curl for another swing at the big screen. James Gunn's Superman legacy is in the works, and the hunt for the next alien Boy Scout is in full swing. The search for the new Clark Kent is about as discreet as a Kardashian on Instagram. The casting list is a veritable who's who of Hollywood heartthrobs. David Corenswet, the tragic projectionist from Pearl, is allegedly the frontrunner. Word on the street is he's heading for the screen test stage. And just like the latest season of Stranger Things, there might be other contenders lurking deep in the shadows, their identities a mystery. Jacob Elordi, the resident bad boy from HBO's Euphoria, was rumored for the role of Clark Kent, but apparently he decided not to join the circus. Maybe he's too busy being a troubled, angst-ridden teen. Tom Brittney and Andrew Richardson, a couple of British charmers, were also apparently in the early mix. But who knows? It's like Game of Thrones, but with less blood, more spandex, and even more outdated heroic arcs. Then there's Lois Lane, the plucky reporter who has more lives than a cat in a Tom and Jerry cartoon. Emma Mackey and Rachel Brosnahan were among those vying for the role. Phoebe Dynevor and Samara Weaving also made the cut, but who's advancing and who's hit the chopping block? Brosnahan supposedly nailed the audition, but at the fossilized age of 32, she might be considered too old for the part. Because in Hollywood, you age in dog years. Now, the best part of this whole spectacle? The unnamed sources, the Hollywood deep throats. One such source dismissed some of the names as a chat room list. I mean, what does that even mean? It's like saying it's as reliable as a weather forecast in Florida. Warner Brothers, predictably, is as tight-lipped as a mob boss on trial. Meanwhile, Nicholas Hoult, fresh off his stint in Renfield, is supposedly the top pick for the classic villain Lex Luthor. He was also in the running for Batman, but lost out to Robert Pattinson. Because in Hollywood, the runner-up prize is another shot at playing a billionaire sociopath. Over on the corporate side of things, David Zaslav, the big cheese at Warner Brothers Discovery, is betting the house on the superhero game. He called DC the biggest value creation opportunity. It's like putting all your money on Bitcoin, but actually more like going all in on Beanie Babies and hoping for a payoff. After a string of releases that were as consistent as a Kanye West album, they're hoping Superman will swoop in and save the day. And I hope it will. I hope they can relaunch Superman and the DC Universe. I'm a fan of James Gunn and of the All-Star Superman source material. But I think the world has moved on, particularly from Superman. It can't be a piece of content that engages kids, the people who it was initially created for, and mouth-breathing 40-plus fanboys at the same time. Marvel got lucky a handful of times. DC won't. And now, as we wait for the grand reveal of the new Man of Steel, we're left with more questions than a Lost fan after the series finale. Which lucky or unlucky actor will be the next to don the cape? It's a game of Hollywood musical electric chairs, where the music is as unpredictable as a Tuesday afternoon at Dave & Buster's with Ezra Miller. So we're all left to wonder who will be the next Tom, Dick, or Harry to become Clark Kent. Who will be the lucky lady playing Lois Lane? The next in line to be saved from various robots, aliens, and super genius humans with grudges, and to much time on their hands by our superpowered, super boring alien starboy. It's like a long, drawn-out episode of The Masked Singer. Only the big reveal is a guy in a red cape instead of a Z-list celebrity in a peacock costume. And you know what? In the end, we're all just waiting for the curtain to lift. Who will be the fresh face plastered on lunchboxes and action figures for the next few years? Who will be the next to step into the long shadow of Christopher Reeve, Brandon Routh, and Henry Cavill? It's like waiting for the new iPhone release. It's the same old thing in a new package, but you're still kind of excited to see it. So buckle up, people. It's going to be a wild ride. In Hollywood, the only constant is change, and the only certainty is uncertainty. We're all just along for the ride, waiting to see who's next to take flight and then crash to the ground in a ball of fire like Icarus.